Hey guys, what is going on? It is your boy Steven here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video we will be talking about British politics and the coronavirus, and basically I want to talk about how I think coronavirus will impact our politics heading into the future. So what I'm going to sort of piece together here is I'm going to use the 2008 market crash and how that impacted politics, and I'm going to try to, I know it's really difficult to compare this because one is a market crash, this one is a killer disease, so it's really, it's really different scenarios. So I'm just really going to talk, in my opinion, how parties will react to this, how future general election campaigns will go, what will happen. So let's cast our minds back to 2008. Up until the market crash point, David Cameron and the Conservatives weren't against the spending by Labour at the time. Now the market crash happens and David Cameron rips up his manifesto. So if you don't know where this little bit of information I'm getting from, and if you want to know where this source is from, if you're sat there thinking David Cameron always wanted to do cuts, watch the Cameron Years documentary. That's what I watched, and that's where I got a lot of this little bits of information on about the Conservatives' reaction to the market crash. So 2008, the crash happens. David Cameron and the Conservatives and George Osborne rip up the manifesto, and obviously then start to go, right, we need to cut back, we cannot physically afford to be spending the money we're spending. Do I agree with that? 100% yes, it's the right thing to do. There's no point but spending money on something you cannot afford, and we just could not afford to spend the money we were spending. Simple as that. Labour also at that time were promising cuts as well. Now I could be very wrong because I read this I think it was a year ago, and yeah, I could be wrong. It could have came from an unreliable source. All I know is I was reading through social media and I seen a link to a page that was saying this, but apparently Gordon Brown had actually planned more cuts than the Conservatives, something like that. So them two parties were promising cuts. The Liberal Democrats were obviously promising cuts. So you had the parties promising cuts. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too sure on the positions of such as the Green Party, DUP, etc. Now 2010 obviously comes, Conservatives win the election, Ed Miliband wins the Labour leadership. Going into the 25 general election campaign, Ed Miliband was being called the austerity light candidate in the race. The Labour Party were austerity light, so Ed Miliband was promising cuts each year. Obviously David Cameron promising to finish in the job. Do I agree with that? Yes. Liberal Democrats again promising to finish the job off, do cuts. Green Party at this point, Plaid Cymru, SNP, were actually not promising cuts and were promising to increase spending. Do I agree with that? No. A ludicrous idea. Now I do just want to point out something here. I 100% believe in spending on our public services, especially the NHS. The NHS is a treasured, without the NHS, this country simply wouldn't be able to cope half the time. And it's not just on the coronavirus, it's on just diseases such as, I don't like saying the name of it, but the disease I'm on about, which kills people. It's just an absolutely amazing national treasure. But you can only fund our public services with a strong economy, and to have a strong economy you've got to be spending within your means, and you cannot be spending money on stuff you simply cannot afford to spend it on. Now Jeremy Corbyn obviously wins the leadership of Labour, and Labour go from promising cuts to trying to bankrupt the country. Now so you have that election going on, obviously the Conservatives promising to manage spending properly, Labour now under Corbyn promising to spend money through the roof. Boris comes in. Obviously, we get to the general election just gone. Still, like Boris said, he would turn on the spending taps again. But again, I should stress, not like a Labour spending tap, not like, just spending money that we don't have. He said, we got the money there, but we're going to do it in a balanced way, not overspending, but we're going to put, like, for instance, a record investment in the NHS, which is going on today, obviously, as you guys can tell with everything going on. More policemen, stuff like that. Labour obviously still going on about spending so much money. So, you've got about now, for the past 12 years, you've had, 2008 to 2015, you had parties promising cuts to deal with the market crash. And then now on, from 20 when did Corbyn get elected, 16 to 19 promising to, spend, while the Conservatives were, also managing the economy in a balanced way, as, we are the party of the economy. So yeah, that was our political reaction to the coronavirus to the market crash. How do I think it will go around this time? Now, for me, I think it will be a battle on public spending, because I think, and I don't want it to be used as a political football. I don't think it should be used as a political football, but I think the NHS will be used in political debates saying, look how much, the coronavirus caused, see, we clearly need more funding in the NHS. And yeah, I think I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm not really too sure yet on how Keir Starmer stands on things. If you know, then please do tell me. Obviously, I know how he stands on the EU, but on his economic strategy, I think that Labour, though, will probably go into the election based on Keir Starmer's support for the anti-cuts policies of Labour, promising he would keep them. I think Labour will go into saying more spending for all our public services, keep on spending. I think we as the Conservatives will promise spending, but not bankruptcy spending. So I think both parties will go into this promising to spend more on the NHS, for instance. But obviously, that's 5 years away. Now, the coronavirus, as we all know, will damage our economy. Not just our economy, it's going to damage the world economy. All that hard work from the Conservatives to lower the deficit, the deficit is going to rise again through no fault of the Conservatives. Because I don't get how you can blame the deficit rising on the Conservatives. Unless you're going to tell me that it was actually the Conservatives that released the coronavirus. Yeah, I mean, it's a really difficult situation, and obviously, if the coronavirus dives down at the end of the year, there's going to be 4 or 5 years for obviously Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak, the government then, to get the economy working again. Obviously, we need to look when the lockdown ends. What's my opinion on the lockdown? I don't think it should be down yet, and I know there'll be some Conservatives saying, what about the economy? It's just a really balanced way I'm looking at it. So I'm looking at it as in, you've got people's health, which I think comes above anything, but you've got the economy's health, two very important things, and you've got to look at it as the coronavirus will kill people, and let's say you lift the lockdown now and then everyone goes out again. Well, if there's a second wave, do you then lock down everything again and it's sort of a stop-start thing, or do you slowly wait until you can be sure that there's not going to be I don't know. That's still really confusing though, because you don't know when's the point of the coronavirus being defeated, unless you have a semi-lockdown of only you can work. If you can work at home, then work at home still. Maybe have some social distancing measures in place until a vaccine is created, but trying to slowly open up the economy again, because obviously I do completely understand if you let the economy tank, living standards go down, it can destroy lives. It will make the country and the people poorer. So I completely understand that. But yeah, at the end of the day, we all know the coronavirus is going to damage our economy, and yeah, I mean, that's my view on everything. That's my view on how I think politics will unfold after this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you to our heroes in the NHS for battling this disease, this deadly killer. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.